Hello everybody, welcome to the HCW Podcast. I am your host Frozzy, alongside Rate Wrestle. We are going to be reviewing this week WWE Friday Night Smackdown, WWE Monday Night Raw, and AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. Stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello everybody and welcome to the show. Now Rate has stopped screening while I'm doing the intro. So I introduced us both in the intro. It's just something I'm going to try going forward. So we'll ask Rate how he is, I suppose, when he's not screaming.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I didn't know you were going to record. I heard you recording, but you went straight into it. I was like, ah!
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I try and get it so I don't have to edit as much.
Yeah, you're a smart man. Yeah, I'm doing well. My legs are knackered from football yesterday, but it's not as bad. I've learned. First week back last week, it was just everywhere. Last week, I just played this tonight. Yesterday, I played like a centre defensive mid of just frustrating people about not getting past me, and then the defence come back. Oh, it's lovely. But how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. It got a bit of an headache, but it's just been a long day. So yeah, get this done and then go and lie in a dark room. I think that's the plan. And then sleep till tomorrow. You know what I'm like, I'll probably be up all night.
Could be worse. You could be recording in the morning and then someone doesn't turn up. Anyway,
yes, we don't talk about this anymore. Unless DP's here, because it's all DP's fault.
Yes. It was.
But yeah, what we'll do is we'll crack straight into this week's wrestling, and we'll start with Friday Night Smackdown.
Yeah, so Friday Night Smackdown. So it kicked off with KO and Zayn once more. They were just generally going on, but then the Usos came down and they've challenged. They were basically saying, how can you ever get as close to being as great champions as we have? Which is fair enough. The Usos had it for a ridiculous amount of time. And this led to the Usos coming down to kind of pushing towards them, but then here comes Riddle. And then it was later announced that it's going to be, after a kind of brawler kind of thing, it's going to be Solo versus Riddle later on in the night. Woods versus LA Knight. I believe this was my match of the night, which is a trend recently in wrestling. I don't know if it's just I watch it at the start thinking this is going to go well, and then I kind of just slowly build down, so I just don't care by the end of shows. Yeah. But yeah, Woods versus Knight was really good. Woods ended up picking up the win. I rated 3 stars. It was a fun ending where LA Knight grabbed the tights of Woods. The referee went no, and then Woods reversed it and grabbed the tights and then picked up the win with the biggest smile on his face ever.
Yeah, it was funny.
And LA Knight continues his losing streak.
It's going to be big when he wins.
Eventually, at some point in life.
Yeah. Probably
not. But until it happens, it happens. But yeah, it was a good opener, and LA Knight can wrestle, and Xavier Woods is being used, which is good. That's what I mainly want from Xavier Woods, to actually be used as a wrestler. Yeah. And he's getting used in a singles role. This was followed by Imperium backstage in like it was just like a general interview thing, but he was doing his usual ring general kind of thing, and then out of nowhere he hears a trumpet. And he turns and there's Xavier Woods. And he was going, "What are you doing, you fool?" Basically, he stopped doing that. And then Xavier Woods was like, "Okay, then." Started speaking a bit more, so he did it again. And then Woods has basically said, "I've never had a chance at the Intercontinental Championship." And then Gunther's basically said he's going to defeat him.
Anyway.
So, yeah, he will. Yeah, so it's not going to go well.
Imagine Woods beat him.
I'd love Woods beating him. Anyone else? That'll be a shock. And it leads to Gunther actually not having the title and can go with somewhere else.
Yeah.
Zayn and Riddle backstage. Basically, they were just saying to Riddle, be careful of the whole match with Solo. And Riddle wants some payback due to the situation. Judgment Day. Don't even know what I've written here. Should be getting individual. I don't know what that is. Something happened with the Judgment Day.
I'm going to have to try and recollect.
Yeah, I don't even remember that segment. I wrote something shouldn't be getting involved. I think it was the LWO that they shouldn't be getting involved in the Judgment Day's business. I think that's what it is. And then the LWO attack in the end, don't they? If I remember, they kind of come down, jump him. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's Judgment Day saying that they've had it with LWO.
That was it.
Yeah, and then what happens.
This leads to Santos versus Damian. We're at this 2 3/4 stars. Priest picked up the win, and then Ray came down, and just the usual spiel of the Judgment Day versus LWO at the moment. Solo was backstage. Heyman said they were kind of embarrassed of what happened, and you need to sort this. The tribal chief needs it, and then Solo just basically says, "I've got this."
Yeah.
Followed by a Rackliv segment, and the Karens have decided that they want to fight Rackliv because Rackliv don't deserve the titles because technically they defeated Trish and Lynch rather than Later and Lynch. But that's not how wrestling works. The Freebird rule. It's fine.
Yeah.
Moss versus and returning Nakamura. All right, it 1 star. It was just a squash match for a returning Nakamura, so they're pushing him. And they're pushing him into oblivion with a promo. It looks like it's going to be a rivalry with Killian Cross.
Karrion Kross, but okay.
Yeah. Karrion, Killer Cross. That's where I was going with that. Killer Cross.
Yeah.
It was like a mix. It's going to be fine. They'll have some decent matches, just hard-hitting matches, but it's going to be nothingness.
I just don't like Karrion Kross matches. I just think they're boring.
Yeah, his character's decent, and like the presentation of Karrion Kross is good. Just the matches are very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
We were next up with Braun and Shea got attacked by the Raiders, so that's a rivalry that's going to continue. Braun and Shea is a tag team now. I haven't been putting their marks in my scoreboards as a tag team, so now I've got to kind of go back. So what I normally do, if it's like a Franken team, I'll give them a month or 2 before I actually start marking them as a team. Because I don't want to have like loads of tag teams where they've had 2 matches and I'll never see them again and I've already fucking sorted out their listing.
Yeah.
Main event of the show, Riddle versus Solo. I rated 2.5. It was a bit of a meh match. If I remember, Solo won the matchup, and then they fully on battered. Solo battered Riddle, and they ended up going underneath the announce table. And that's how Smackdown ended up being off air. It was a bit of a meh show.
Yeah.
It was not bad, but it was a bit like I don't really care at the same time.
Yeah, it was just one of them shows when SmackDown you get them now and again, where it's just sort of there. But what people might notice who are watching the video is that me and Ray disappear off screen for a little bit because I'm doing the recording and I went to help Ray out, took the cameras off the screen. So if we disappear for a little bit and you get black screen, my bad.
At least you get the sound though.
I'm not going back. Yeah, you'll still get the sound. I'm not editing it out. It's staying in.
Yes. This is how we learn from our mistakes.
So I will never change this screen again. If we want to go straight into Raw, and I'll try not to change over my screen.
Yeah. So we kicked off with the Bloodline minus Roman. They came down to the ring, and then straight afterwards, here comes the Judgment Day. So it's Uso, Solo, and Heyman, and then just the full entire Judgment Day. There's a stare off between Rhea and Solo, which is pretty cool if you've seen it.
Yeah.
And I really liked it because basically Heyman went to Solo, just move to the right. And so he moved to the right, and then Finn Balor stepped back, and then Rhea just moved to the right and stood in front. So just complete stare down. The whole point of this promo was they've cut a deal. So the Bloodline is going to sort out the LWO, and the Judgment Day is going to sort out the Sami Zayn Sami Zayn KO problem and Riddle. So I like that as a good kind of like factions working together kind of thing, the heel factions. Heyman obviously said Finn doesn't really like it due to obviously the Bloodline battering Finn during Roman's reign.
Yeah.
So at least they're pulling back to stuff. It isn't, we'll forget this happened.
Yeah.
This was followed by Ray versus Solo. I rate this 3 1/4 stars. It's probably one of better Solo's matches. Because Solo's matches are very the samey, but with Ray, because he's an athletic, smaller guy, actually, they worked out pretty well. The Usos and the LWO were kind of getting involved in it during this match. I said it was just a fun overall matchup. I rated 3 1/4 stars. Solo ended up picking up the win, and then the LWO got absolutely annihilated by the Usos and the Bloodline.
I don't know if you saw it anywhere, but I saw online today that the mics at ringside picked up Solo saying thank you to Ray for putting him over when he pinned him.
That's nice.
It is.
It's ruined wrestling. No, that's nice. It's like, a lot of wrestlers, you can't hear it, but you can tell they always do like the squeeze of the hand or the tap of the chest. So that was nice, and like, at least Solo kind of is respectful, which is good to see.
Yeah.
Backstage draft for this, we had the Alpha Academy. Chad was going. I think he was Pierce at the time as well, and Chad was going. I've already spoke to them. If one of us goes, another one goes in the draft. And then Maxine was going like, "Why does anyone want you, you little gremlin?" She called him Chaz, which I did like. And Otis needs to be on a flagship show with me, and Otis is literally like, yeah. And so I do like the dynamic of this. And they've kind of just binned off Mansoor and Marseille. They've decided no one cares about that side of it. Let's just get Maxine with Otis.
Well, wait until you see the 2K23 series me and DP are doing if he ever brings it out. Marseille is champion on one of DP's, and he keeps wanting to perform on PLEs, and I keep vetoing it, so he's just pissed off. I just keep playing the card, and it keeps stopping him from appearing on the show, and it's just so fun. DP's fuming.
See, this sounds good. Get it out.
I know, it is good, it is.
DP needs to sort himself. What are you playing it on? Are you playing it on PC? You're playing it on...
No, so DP's got the PC version. We tried to stream it live. Like, we tried to do it on Twitch.
Oh, the team viewer crap situation.
Yeah, it wouldn't support it, so we're doing it as a series like we were going to do TEW, and we'll just release the videos. But I usually just plug my PlayStation controller into my laptop, and we remote play it and record. Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to it when eventually it comes out. We had Kai versus Belair. I rated 2.5 stars. Belair struggled in this match. I don't know if you saw it. She forgot how to do her own finisher.
She does this now and again. Like, as athletic as she is, she's just like, it's like certain things don't click in a certain amount of time.
It's like brain fog, isn't it? But she literally forgot how to put her own finisher on. A finisher is just lifting someone into a torture rack position. She forgot she was like that, and then she was like, she couldn't figure it out. It was weird. Yeah. And she ended up picking up the win, which was expected, because obviously if Dakota Kai beats Belair, then it's kind of Sky should win the title, technically, if you're going down that route. And then Bayley was quite annoyed about the situation, so obviously there's a bit of friction-ish they're pointing out. I don't know if they're going to slowly split Damage Control for the draft, because Damage Control is now losing their kind of way, because there's nothing for them really to do at the moment.
No, they held the women's tags. Bayley went for the title, and there's just no, like, the depth on the roster isn't good enough to keep them as a trio. Yeah,
not great. This was followed up by the Judgment Day backstage. Heyman came back to them and basically said, are you satisfied that we took out the LWO? Finn went, which was funny. He just went, and then Heyman was like, and he went, yeah, and then Heyman walked off screen because Rhea went, leave Paul. And then Heyman went, phone Roman Reigns. And then just as he's walking out of the shop, he went to Roman. He said, This next segment, people are raving about it, and I thought it was terrible. So Cody Rhodes, the whole security guard bit, like the passion at the start of him, just like I want to KO Lesnar, bring him out and stuff like that, and Pierce going, no, this ain't happening. And then the security guard's in the ring, and then Lesnar comes down looking like the guy out Fallout, I can't remember the trench coat guy. Can't remember his name. It's going to annoy me. It's something like the Marshal or something like that. And then Cody Rhodes just goes ham on the security. Cody Rhodes is about 6 foot, and he weighs about 200 pounds, and he takes out 15 security guards, and it was silly. It was silly.
Security guards are always like this in WWE.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Brock Lesnar doing it, Omos doing it, Bobby Lashley, then Cody Rhodes doing it. It's kind of like, you might as well get Matt Jackson doing it. It's not.
Don't give Tony Khan that idea. God no.
It's just it like I can understand the promo side of it. I just didn't like the Cody Rhodes shouldn't be manhandling 15 security guards, maybe a couple, but 15 security guards, and like it was like about 10 of them in one go at one point. 10 of them were actually holding him down. He started beating them down. But yeah, the match with Brock Lesnar will be good.
Yeah.
Because Brock Lesnar will destroy him for about 15 minutes. It'll probably win Cody Rhodes.
It'll be John Cena
Cena, yeah.
That's what it'll be.
Next up was a really, really good match between The Miz and Rollins. Like, I rated 3.5 stars. It jump-started with Miz attacking Rollins. And both guys proper went for it. It was only like 12 minutes long, but there was a lot of finisher kick-outs. Like, Miz looked really good in it. Like I said, 3.5 stars for a Miz match is incredible. And then Rollins picked up the win in that match. And the fans were proper into it. Like the loudest I've heard them in years.
Nice.
Backstage, I call them the Three Bros now. So KO, Sammy, and Riddle. So KO hates Riddle. I figured out from this whole thing. So Sammy was going, we should listen to Riddle's idea. And then KO was like, why would you listen to him? We're the tactical people. KO's a bit of a dumbass. Riddle's a bit of a dumbass. Then Riddle says, do you know Solo, Samoan Spike? What about if I wrap up my big toe and then kick him in the throat? And then Owens was going like, what? What is this? And then Riddle went, I was joking. I'm not that much stupid. We need to beat him down. And then KO actually said, why didn't we listen to him in the first place? And walks off. And Sammy's like, what? So it was a good fun promo. Then we had Lashley versus Theory out of nowhere, which is a kind of random match. I read it 2 3/4. It ended in a no contest because Reed came out of nowhere to manhandle Lashley. So they're continuing that spiel. Theory was battered at this point, but he came back in to help Reed stop Lashley, getting him into the Hurt Lock. So I feel like there's going to be a triple threat match for the United States Championship.
I just don't think they know what to do with Theory because I think they're going Bronson and Lashley and that's it. I don't think it's going to involve the American.
Yeah. It depends. Next week, if Theory's still involved, it will do. If it's just he's not involved, then it makes if he's still if he's tagging with Bronson Reed or something like that, I feel like it might lead to the United States Championship. And then I can think Theory will win because Reed and Lashley will batter each other. It'll be like a roll up on Lashley or something like that.
Yeah.
Trish came down and actually cut a really good promo, saying she was the trailblazer of the women's division, which she technically was. Her and later kind of there was no women's division properly before that. She said that she was annoyed that Becky Lynch made her into a sidekick. Becky Lynch man sidekick, and look at Trish, she's not a sidekick. And she's no fan to see this is happening was the general gist of the promo at the end. We had a match of Mikan versus the Karens. So Michin and Candice LeRae. Mikan works. Karens works. I rated it 2.5 stars. It was no, I didn't. I rated it 2 stars. It was just nah. Eh.
He said eh.
Yeah. Then we had my favourite tag team ever, the Profits, backstage with Boogs, and they were discussing the draft, and Corbin was involved in the draft, and Elias saying he's going to be the number 1 pick, so we'll take Boogs wherever he goes. Then Tozawa comes through and actually says something really funny. He goes, Elias, you're awful. You're going to be last pick. And then Corbin comes back and goes, ha, that was funny. He just went to Corbin. No one wants you, Corbin. The Bloodline Usos did a promo. They're the 2s. Sami Zayn and KO are the 1s. Judgment Day versus the Bros. Rated 3 stars. It was a good match. The Bros ended up picking up the win. And then there was just all-out insanity at the end of the show, with the Usos coming down to help the Judgment Day, and then the LWO comes down, and it's just chaos, and everyone's batting at each other. Raw was good.
Yeah, it was like Raw. It was passable, and it's looking less and less like a Vince show.
Yeah, so I think what happened is Thingy was a fluke. That bad Raw. No, that bad Raw. If you go, last 2 Raws have been good.
Yeah, it's like we said. I think it was on the pod. We said it last week that the reason for the terrible Raw after Mania was purely because Vince was there.
Yeah,
like the last 2 Raws, it doesn't look like he's been at, so it's not been as edited or cut as heavily or changed on the day. And that'll help Raw, as you can see from the last two.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And they're saying the Triple H era is going to properly start after the draft because that's where he's going to change a lot of stuff around.
Well, yeah, because there's going to be, hopefully, it's Triple H's choices for who goes where. So, well, hopefully we'll see an even better product. And it's not bad now. Like, pay-per-views, or PLEs as they are now, are good from WWE.
Yeah.
So,
there's like one show every month that might be horrible, which is in previous times when we were reviewing Raw and Smackdown at the start of the podcast, it'll be one out of the month would be good. So yeah, it's the opposite effect.
Yeah, but well, with that said, we'll move on to Dynamite, because you're either going to ruin what I'm going to do for the rest of the night or make it with your review, because I'm going to watch Dynamite. Because I don't get a chance to watch it before we record.
I'm sorry. I was going to make a joke review now and say, Dynamite was ass, goodbye. It was bad, mate. Well, go for it, but yeah, it wasn't great. So we started off with the 4 pillars, minus MJF. It was just a weird 15-minute weird insult. So Darby was insulting Jungle Boy. He was saying, you call Jungle Boy, you call Jack Perry. Then there was Spacey saying, Sammy Guevara, no one cares that you're here. And, poor you didn't really get in the matches. They all sounded really needy. They didn't sound like title champion, like contenders. They all sounded like, I should get the title. It was really pants. MGF came down and announced the 4 Pillars tournament. So he pulled a name out of the hat for one of them that was going to get a buy into the next round. So Darby Allin doesn't need to fight in that round. So it's going to be Jungle Boy versus Sammy Guevara. Winner fights Darby Allin. Then the winner of that faces MJF at Double or Nothing. And what was fun at the... I don't know. It's a terrible situation. MGF came down, and the first thing he said, because it was in Pittsburgh, oh, don't go on. You know, you're the kind of people that says Dr. Britt Baker's good at wrestling. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he announced the tournament, and then he went, I'll play my music. I don't give a crap about it. Just walked off. So you may notice there's a trend. So match of the night was the first match on the card, which was the Outcasts versus Hayter and Jamie, Dr. Britt Baker.
Match of the night?
Yeah, I called this. So it was the Outcasts, and I found a name for Baker and Hayter. Hate and Bake. That's what I'm calling them from now on.
It's just a rip-off of Heidenreich. That's what they're like.
Hate and Bake, Shake and Bake, that's what I've got it from. So I rate this 3 stars. It was really good. Like there was a lot of near falls. No one looked sloppy. There was brawl at the start. Proper going for it. And Britt Baker got like a clean win over, I think it was Ruby, in the middle of the ring in Pittsburgh, so it made sense. Next up, we had Wardlow. Wardlow's facing Hobbs tonight for the title. Wardlow was discussing that when he was doing pretty much well the previous time, he had a 4 horsemen in his corner, Tully. So he went, you know what, I've brought another 4 horsemen tonight. So everyone instantly went, Ric Flair's going to be here. And it was, oh no, it's Arn. Arn's back, he got a big pop, yeah. And he's going to be in the corner. I've kind of gave up on caring about Wardlow and Hobbs. And when we get to the match, you'll know what's happened. Next up, we had a really corny Elite promo in the ring. So they tried to act tough. Like, Kenny can do it, but Matt and Nick can't. And they invited the BCC to come down to the ring. Then Daniel Bryan came on the screen. I keep saying Daniel Bryan, I'm so used to it still. Bryan Daniels came on the screen and was just mocking them. Then the BCC attacked from behind, minus Bryan Danielson. The Elite got on top for a lot of it, but they did some stupid stuff. So Matt Jackson, in a brawl, did his 45 Northern Suplex thing. Do you know where he does the Northern Suplex, flips up, does a Northern Suplex? When his arm's injured. It's just, come on. Like, try and make it serious. And then Don Callis came down with a chair after... they beat down the Elite. Bryan Danielson came down to the ring, was about to start speaking, and here comes Don Callis with a chair. And I was like, oh my God, Don Callis about to chat. Bryan Danielson went, what you doing, Don? He dropped the chair and just walked off, ran off up the stage. And then they're beaten down. He grabs the screwdriver, and then Don Callis is at the top of the stage with Takeshita, and he's dragging him down the stage. He's going, help, help. And Takeshita's like, okay, runs in, absolutely obliterates the BCC. It was really good. Like clean shots, and it kind of gave a bit of legitimacy to Omega and Takeshita as a tag team would be great. It reminds me of Bushi and it sounds slightly racist, but Bushi and Omega was a great tag team. I don't know if that's because Paige is disappearing slightly, because it sounds weird that they've brought Takeshita on board, because it was 4-4, but now it would be 5-4 if Paige was there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to bring someone else into the BCC, which I couldn't give you any idea who that would be.
Nope, not a clue. I don't know where you go with that. The 4-on-4 would have been enough, I think.
Yeah, but Takeshita's involved, so I can't moan. It's not a bad wrestler to get involved. Next up, we had the all-important TNT title, so it was in the middle of the show. So Wardlow versus Hobbs. I rated this 2.25 stars. It was absolutely ass. Just your usual shenanigans. Arn Anderson in the middle of the ring with QT Marshall. Like, the referee should have threw it out like 15 times. Like, people were doing moves in the middle of the ring. Wardlow ended up winning with the 55 power bombs. And then, do you know who his next challenge is going to be?
Powerhouse Hobbs.
No. Even better.
The other big dude. I always forget his name.
You might be there.
I can't remember his name. It's the big guy. He debuted ages ago, and then they just put him
It's probably not going to be him then. Luchasaurus.
Oh, right, okay. No, it wasn't him. It was... I always forget his name. But
Big Will.
No. He debuted with Arya Davari, I think, and they were going to be a thing. He was basically
Parker Bordeaux.
He was basically AEW's answer to Veer. They pretty much debuted at the same time.
Satnam Singh.
That's him.
Okay, yeah, it's just because Veer's short but big, and then Satnam Singh's...
Yeah.
Oh,
They debuted at the same time, and I was just like... Oh,
he's on the show, if it helps. Yeah. We were followed by a Guevara promo backstage. MJF interrupts it and went, I've got an opportunity for you, and we can work together. So, Darby's had a chance, Jungle Boy's had a chance, but you've never really had a chance at the title. So I can help you defeat Jungle Boy, then defeat Darby Allin, then you can face me in the pay-per-view. And Guevara's like, what are you on about? And he went, well, you've got no chance of beating all 3 of the 4 pillars. Basically, MJF just said there's no chance. So you've got to beat Jungle Boy, then you've got to beat Allin, then you're going to beat me. It's not going to happen. So he said, I've got a blank check here. Write the number on this, and we'll sort this out. So Guevara writes an astronomical number because MJF's just like saying, no one, I know you won't bend me over the barrel. It's all grease. And he looks and he goes, oh my God, are you sure this is right? And then they hug it out. So they're going to be working together, maybe. Next up was Jay White versus Commander. Everyone raved about this match, but I am bored of Commander because I've seen so much of him. Because I've been watching Bowler this week as well, and he's on that a lot, and then he's been on the shows. And I was speaking, I think it must have been last week or the week before. His offense is so predictable because he just walks the ropes all the time.
It wasn't. I don't think it was last week. I think it was the week before.
Yeah, he just walks the ropes and walks the ropes and walks the ropes, and then does something else on the ropes. And there'll be spots where he got Jay White's hand and he's like bouncing on the ropes like 15 times. It's all Jay White's just not removed his hand. It's like the old school with the Undertaker, but he just walked the rope, then hit them. It wasn't like flipping around on a rope and just letting your hand go.
Yeah.
Look, I still rated it 2 3/4 because I do enjoy Commander. It's just it gets samey.
Yeah.
And it's a bit predictable. And you know who was in the crowd? More importantly, who's going to have a rivalry with Jay White?
Oh, go on.
Sean Spears.
He's still employed.
Yeah, I didn't realise. He just appeared, and then they had a brawl with him, and then someone saved him at the end, and I can't remember who it was.
Someone else random who we don't know is employed.
Yeah, it was. I think it was someone random, if I remember. Oh, it's going to annoy me. FTR was about to get the commentary backstage, but then the announcer told Mark Briscoe got attacked. So they by the Trust Busters, Ari Davani's group. And then backstage, they run to the medical bit, and Mark's like laid up, and he's with Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, that group. And he was going like, we'll sort this out. And then the FTR went, no, we'll sort this out. And they kept sorting out. Mark Briscoe was going, like, you know what? You two, FTR, and you two, Jeff and Fingy, you sort it out. So on Rampage, there's going to be the Truth Busters versus Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and the FTR, which is such a random tag team. I don't know how it's linked, but it's happening.
Okay.
Yep. We have the all-important, which I was looking forward to, Jericho and Cole promo. Face-to-face in the ring. So Cole does the right thing. He doesn't go like, he goes into the, like, Chris Jericho, you're like a legend to me. You know, I've respected you. I've modelled a lot of my career around you, like my catchphrase and stuff like that. And then Jericho shakes his hand, and then Jericho goes, yeah, I'm glad you're all like this, but I have no respect for you, Cole. Like, no respect at all. And I was like, oh. And then Cole just has like some proper sharp words about it. We're going, you know, you say you're all this, and you know, but you need to bring back, you need the Jazz Society on you all the time, stuff like that. And then Cole and Jericho brawl, and then the Jazz Society come out. Well, Daniel Garcia comes out, attacks Cole, and then do you know who comes to Cole's rescue?
Go on.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Oh, really?
So she comes out. And then Jericho's like, what the hell are you doing? And then the Outcast come out while under Britt Baker. They chain up Cole to the ring ropes and just full on kendo stick the crap out of her. Cole's actually looks like he's crying, like genuine look. It was actually a really good thing. Like, I'm looking forward to Jericho versus Cole. And I like the essence of the Outcast involved. I'm hoping Jericho doesn't get the Jazz Society involved because they're getting a bit stale.
Yeah.
But Jericho versus Cole will be a good match.
Yeah, I can't see why it won't be.
And then we had the Jazz Society versus the Acclaimed. So Hager, Menard, and Parker versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. I rated this 2 stars. I didn't care at all. The winner of the match, if the Acclaim lost, they'd be a part of the Jazz Society until Double or Nothing. It was a very bad match. On Cage Match, which you rated a bad match, I kind of skimmed through it because I just... Yeah. But yeah, the Acclaim won in the end.
Of course. That stipulation, they were always going to win.
And then by the end of the night, we had Jungle Boy versus Sammy, and I was looking forward to it-ish, but I was just drained at this point. I rated the match 2 3/4. Sammy ended up picking the win. So basically, Jungle Boy got in the ref. Sammy was distracting the ref. Jungle Boy was sliding back into the ring. MGF pulled him out, hit him with the Dynamite ring, threw him over the railings, and then Sammy got Jungle Boy got counted out. And then so Sammy, MGF gets Sammy onto his shoulders, and they're all celebrating. He's wearing his scarf, and that's how Dynamite ends. So there's a bit of an alliance between Sammy and MGF, which is worrying because imagine Sammy Guevara versus MGF as your main event at Double or Nothing.
No thanks.
Imagine MGF versus Darby Allin as your main event of Double or Nothing.
Any of them, I don't want to see.
It's got to be a fatal 4-way. That's the only kind of maybe.
Yeah, that was the only acceptable thing I could see. Because I don't think, like, MGF is fine. I don't think the other 3 are big enough to headline a pay-per-view.
Yeah, there's just nothing with them to do it.
No.
But that was the end of Dynamite. We've got 1 minute to do the outro. Let's go.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a great show. I'm not looking forward to this now. So I might stretch it out more than a minute. But yeah, basically, that is the end of the show. So thank you, Ray, for your reviews as always. Follow us at the HCW Show on Twitter. Follow us on Twitch because we do gaming on there. We've got Instagram. We've got Facebook. Like, subscribe, comment, join the Discord, do all the fun stuff. We've got some good stuff coming up in terms of interviews and stuff getting released all the time. Ray interviewed Gary J. That interview is live. He is wrestling
America
in the UK this month. In May. He is in the UK. Ray is actually going to see his show that he's on, so that should be fun as well. They'll get to meet in person. But yeah, stay tuned because we've got some good stuff coming up on the channel. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Goodbye.